Hello ladies and gentlemen and everybody else watching. My name's Eric and welcome back to a brand new video here on the Bioshock Hub. So today, May 29th, as I'm currently recording this video at almost 4 in the morning, Bioshock 1, 2, Infinite, and Bioshock The Collection just recently came out on Nintendo Switch along with many other 2K games. So in today's video, we're going to be reviewing Bioshock The Collection. Is it worth buying? What's it about? Etc. This video, and more specifically this review, will not contain any spoilers, so I will not be ruining any of the games for you. So, I really do hope you appreciate that. Now, one quick disclaimer is that all the gameplay you will see in the background came from my Nintendo Switch Lite, as I'm not going to pay $600 for a Nintendo Switch on Amazon right now. That's pretty ridiculous, and with the whole pandemic going on, prices of the Nintendo Switch skyrocketed. You guys can understand that. So, if you do play it on the regular Switch, the graphics will be better, but nonetheless, on the Switch Lite, the graphics are still incredible. So with that being said, sit back, relax, and I hope you enjoy the review. So first and foremost, as I mentioned, Bioshock 1, 2, Infinite, and The Collection just recently came out. So if you intend on buying any one of these, I would highly recommend buying Bioshock The Collection, and there is a very good reason for that. So, what exactly comes with Bioshock The Collection? Well, first and foremost, you get the first game and all of its DLC, which isn't too much unfortunately, but it's still pretty fun. Next, you get Bioshock 2, again, with all of its DLC, that being the Protector Trials, as well as Minerva's Den, which, in my personal opinion, is the best story-driven DLC within the entire series. Now that is debatable, we'll get to that when we talk about Infinite, but Minerva's Den is absolutely incredible. And finally, you get Bioshock Infinite with all of its DLC, which includes Clash in the Clans, along with Burial at Sea Episode 1, and Episode 2, which you could argue is also a very, very good DLC. So that would be completely up to you as to which DLC is better for you, but that is all that is included within Bioshock The Collection. So the reason why I recommend actually buying the collection over, let's say, Bioshock 1 or 2 or Infinite as a solo game, just simply for the fact you're going to be paying about $49 on the Nintendo Switch for this, but you get all 3 games and all 3 DLCs. You do not have to buy the DLCs separately. So for me, it's a very good deal, and for you, it saves you a crap ton of money. So in terms of total runtime or playtime for the Bioshock collection, it's actually completely up to you. The beauty of all 3 of these games is to explore the entirety of your setting, that being Rapture from Bioshock 1 and 2, or Columbia from Bioshock Infinite. Roughly, a typical playthrough could take you anywhere from 4 to 10 hours, depending on if you want to speed through it, or if you want to walk around or roam around and explore everything that you possibly can. And you do get rewarded for exploring. There's a lot of things you can find, whether it's new plasmids, tonics, etc. I don't want to ruin those for you. I'd rather you figure those out for yourself. It is one hell of a ride. If I had to personally give a recommendation, especially from someone who's played this series way more than I'd like to admit, please, if you do get this game or the collection, take your time and enjoy it. Enjoy the setting, enjoy the incredible stories, the characters, and just your experiences overall. If this is your first time playing any of the Bioshock games, as I mentioned, you're in for quite a treat, and I really do hope that you're going to enjoy this. Now, let's hop into some stories, shall we? Keep in mind, as I mentioned, I will be keeping these as spoiler-free as I possibly can. I will be providing a little brief synopsis of each game, so I do hope you appreciate that, and again, I would like for you to experience these yourself. In Bioshock 1, which takes place during 1960 in the Atlantic Ocean, you play as a young man named Jack. During the opening of the game, Jack happens to survive a plane crash and then swims safely to a nearby lighthouse. After entering said lighthouse and entering a submarine-type vehicle known as a bathysphere, it takes him to the underwater city of Rapture. After servicing within Rapture, you're welcomed by a rather dapper Irish gentleman named Atlas, who helps you navigate Rapture and tries to keep you safe from heavily addicted people named Splicers and the founder of Rapture himself, Andrew Ryan. In terms of Rapture itself, you'll get lost in the absolute beauty that Rapture possesses, and I'd highly recommend taking your time and exploring everything that you possibly can. Also, arguably one of the most and beloved levels within the game is named Fort Frolic. This is where I think you guys are going to get lost when you're exploring the entirety of Rapture. This is my personal favorite level, and when you get to it, I think you'll understand why, so keep an eye out for that one. During Bioshock 2, which takes place 8 years later in 1968, you play as a big daddy named Subject Delta, who's in charge of protecting his little sister named Eleanor Lamb. Unfortunately, her biological mother, Sophia Lamb, had other ideas. You spend the entirety of the game going through obstacle after obstacle just to try to reunite with Eleanor again. But this isn't as easy as it sounds. Sophia Lamb has turned all of Rapture, all of the Splicers, and remaining citizens of Rapture against you to try to stop you and kill you. All except for two. That being your guide, Augustus Sinclair, and Dr. Bridget Tenenbaum, who was actually in the original Bioshock as well. The rest of the story itself is something I'd highly recommend experiencing for yourself, as I don't want to ruin any more, and I feel like I could have potentially said too much. So, at the end, if you do play through all 3 games, come back to this video and let me know if you enjoyed Bioshock 1, 2, or Infinite more. I would greatly appreciate that. And now, let's hop into Bioshock Infinite. So, within Bioshock Infinite, which occurs during 1912, you play as a man named Booker DeWitt, who's in charge of going to a city named Columbia to rescue a girl named Elizabeth. In exchange for her, all of Booker's gambling debts would be repaid. Throughout the entirety of this game, you're constantly chasing after her, trying to save her from this hellhole of a city known as Columbia. Although at first, saving her from Columbia was, in his words, just a job, but as the story progresses, it becomes much more than that. And as stated earlier, I don't want to go too in-depth into the entirety of the story as I don't want to spoil or ruin anything for you, but it will be for you to find out. I will leave you with one little tidbit here. All I can say is that this game is one hell of an experience and one hell of a ride. When it originally came out and I beat it all the way through, I had so many questions that I figured I would never get answers to. Some I did, but still to this day, I have a lot of unanswered questions. And like I said, that was quite a while ago. So again, this is one hell of an experience. Now the question you've all been waiting for, and I do apologize that I've made you wait so long for the answer to this question. So, for those of you who are new to the Bioshock series or the franchise and are wondering whether or not you should buy this on Switch, personally, I would highly recommend doing so. For one, you get 3 games and all of the DLC in one for about $49.99 depending on the tax in your area. And it is definitely worth it. The stories, the settings, the combat, the characters, the environments, and the games overall are way worth more than the $49.99 that they're asking for. And there's so many ways that you can play it, and they all have so much replayability. So, if you should buy it, or if you're wondering if you should buy it, yes, 1,000 times yes. Of course, if you enjoy story games, that is, because these are some of the best story games you will ever play. Now obviously, I know this isn't an in-depth review of each game's plot, characters, etc., but as I mentioned, I did not want to spoil anything, I didn't want to ruin anything. I just wanted to let you guys know what each game was about briefly, just to try to see if it piques your interest. So I hope you're not mad at me, and I hope the review did it justice. But I wanted to give you a no-nonsense, no bullshit review without spoiling any of the entirety of the experience for you. I do also hope you found this review, or kind of this appetizer, a little bit helpful for you guys. If you have any questions by any means, please feel free to ask them down in the comment section below. I'll try to answer and respond to as many as I possibly can. Other than that, if you want to see more Bioshock content and Last of Us Part 2 content down the road, would you mind hitting that subscribe button to never miss a video or a live stream if you guys are interested, of course. Also, if you do decide to do that, would you mind dropping a like on the video, as it does help me out and it gets this video out there and it does mean the world to me. Also, be sure to turn on all post notifications so YouTube can alert you when a video or a live stream goes public, because YouTube is a little weird with sending out videos to subscription feeds. And finally, if you'd like to talk with me outside of YouTube, my social medias are the best ways to do so. You can follow me on things like Twitter, Instagram, or my Facebook page, or if you want to join our community on Discord, the links will be down in the description below for you guys to go check out. Thank you all so much for watching today's video and all of the recent support on the channel, the videos, etc. I really do appreciate it. So, with that being said, stay safe. I hope you guys are having a wonderful time right now and staying safe within this pandemic. Keep your loved ones close and make sure you obviously tell them how important they are to you and how important you are to them. So, let's just spread some positivity here. So with that being said, again, thank you so much for watching the video, and I will talk to you all in the next one. Take care.